Hello everyone. UPSC is a great equalizer. It wouldn't want to give an undue advantage to somebody who's been spending 5-6 years into preparation process. Why? Because anybody who spends 5 years, 6 years will definitely have more content than a fresher with just 6 months or 8 months or 1 year of preparation experience. So it should not become, after all, a matter of how much years you spend into this preparation that should decide your outcomes in the exam, right? So it needs to create the level playing ground between a fresher and between somebody who has been giving prelims for 5-6 attempts. That's why UPSC has certain kind of questions chosen. And look at question number 2 asked in Civil Service Exam Prelims 2026 in Series D. It's a history question. And just look at the question. When aspirants faced this question last year, even those veterans who have been into this preparation process for a long number of years, even for them, the very first thought that struck them was, where is this question even asked from? Is it even there in any of the books that I have usually read for history? Students read a lot of books, they read a lot of notes for history, right? And despite all of that, they were not even able to spot where is this question asked from. So most of the aspirants, they just went for this response that empty seat, it means Buddha has disappeared. It means probably Buddha has died. If Buddha has died, it probably means it's Mahaparinirvana, right? So it's tempting to go for this particular option, associating empty seat with Mahaparinirvana of Buddha. That's what UPSC wants you to do. UPSC wants you to make that mistake. Why? Because you start assuming, right? And if a fresher makes this mistake of assumption, even a veteran will also go wrong in this question, because even he will not be able to assume correctly. This is what UPSC exactly wants, except for those aspirants who have mastered NCERTs. So if you are a repeater, if you have been repeating this exam for the 4th time, 5th time, 7th time, understand that UPSC wants you to develop very good expertise, master the nuances and minutes in NCERTs. And why is UPSC focusing on that? Because you see, this is a question that is actually asked from this book, Introduction to Indian Art. A lot of students read so many notes. They read even Nitin Singhania's such a huge book on art and culture, right? But they hardly give importance to this NCERT. I'm not saying simply just going and reading NCERTs one time is going to help you clear such kind of questions, get right in the next prelims. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying UPSC is trying to make the life of veterans difficult, right? So if you are a veteran, if you are a repeater who is into 4th or 5th year into preparation, make sure you develop adequate mastery and command over every smallest detail that is given in any of the NCERT. I'm not saying this as a suggestion only to cover this NCERT. Whatever NCERTs you have, it is expected, isn't it? If you are spending 5-6 years time, can you not even develop the mastery that's required over an NCERT text? That is what UPSC is checking for. That's not what I'm saying, right? And look at the significance of this particular book. In 2025 prelims, a question was asked about the different titles assumed by a king. So a question goes on like that. Which of the king had the title of Vichitra Chitta, Gunabara and Matavilasa, right? Where is the answer for that question? It is there in the same NCERT. So if you would have thought, looking at this previous year question, you thought, okay, I have to now go and memorize all the titles assumed by all the different rulers. You are making a fundamentally flawed mistake in understanding UPSC. UPSC is not asking you to go and memorize the titles of all the kings. UPSC is giving you an indication that I am asking from these minute details. So you better make sure you master the minute details of all the NCERTs, right? So if any aspirant was cautious, and I know an aspirant who has cracked prelims this year who got this question perfectly right. Okay, so do not assume that nobody would have got this question right. No, there are aspirants who have got this right because he was in his 3rd attempt, probably 4th year into preparation. And he has ensured that every smallest detail in most of these NCERTs are perfectly covered. So for such a kind of an aspirant, a repeater, a veteran, this answer is manageable. But for most veterans, it's not manageable. So is it the case with freshers also. That's how the question is made level playing for both a new entrant into preparation and for somebody with years of preparation behind them. Right? And look at the question that I have asked today. So I have posted this question in my Telegram channel. And do subscribe to my Telegram channel if you want to get these kind of quality questions on a daily basis to practice. Just look at this question. This is also a question that I have framed from this very same NCERT. And I can frame 10 such questions from this NCERT, where you may be under the impression that you have studied this, but still you may not be able to get it right. Okay, so if there are 30, 40 different NCERTs, the number of combination of questions UPSC can make to make a very difficult question would be 300 to 400 different type of very difficult questions can so be framed. So a veteran, a repeater should also be aware of this idea that, okay, now let me go and look into those nuances so that I also master these 300, 400 different type of such nuanced questions that UPSC can probably frame. That is the expectation. So if you can do that, you will end up having an easy experience when you sit in the next prelims. Else you will once again come out and say, where is this question even asked from, when the question was simply asked from 11th standard NCERT. Right? So the input that you have to take from this video is that if you're an aspirant who is just in their very first year of preparation, you don't and you cannot develop the depth like this in any of the NCERTs, and do not attempt to do that. But if you are somebody who's into third and fourth and fifth year of preparation, it is expected that by now most of your basic reading of NCERTs are all over. So go to the next level and develop that finesse, develop that command over the details in any of these NCERT. So that tomorrow when I open a random NCERT and I ask you a fact, you should be able to say that. That is what indicates you adapting to the direction that UPSC is showing. Right? So I hope this gives you a sense of what UPSC is trying to convey to you through its second question. The communication that UPSC is trying to do is, do not go and now start reading all the imagery and motives and all of that. No, that's not the point, but rather start getting into mastery of NCERTs if you have time in your hands. Do not keep on rubbing the surface. That is what UPSC is trying to convey. Alright, we'll meet in another session where I decipher another question asked in last prelims. So if you want more such questions, very intelligently designed questions, if you want to get into a daily habit of practice from now onwards till your prelims, you have to enroll in Skill Up Prelims program. Every question is designed with so much of thought and understanding about what UPSC expects. The link for the program is given in the description box and the comment section, so check it out. So see you in another video. Thank you.